Hi friends, it's Tracy from the Financial Freedom Diary, and today in this Sip and Serve, we're going to talk about calculating that extra interest-only payment when you're making an IDR payment. Sometimes IDR payments don't cover your entire interest, and so your interest just kind of builds until it capitalizes, which we don't want that to happen. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing below, and I hope you all are doing well. So let's get started. Some things that you're going to need today, if you want to kind of work along with this or you want to write some stuff down, you're going to need like your monthly student loan statement, an online interest calculator. You guys know that I use NerdWallet. You can Google NerdWallet student loan interest calculator or student loan interest calculator. I just like theirs better. A calculator, one on your phone, computer, whatever, paper or Excel or Google Sheets. Now, if you use Excel or Google Sheets, you don't necessarily need a calculator. You guys know I'm more of a pen and paper person, so that's why I need a calculator. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to give you two examples from my student loans, and that it would be what I would put on paper, but I'm also going to do a walkthrough through using Google Sheets. So that way you guys can see me use a web-based tool that's pretty much free. If you have like a Gmail account, you can get to Google Sheets in there, and you can use that to kind of help you create your interest-only payment for your student loans. Okay, from your monthly statement, you want to look at your current balance, your interest rate, and your monthly payments. These three columns are what you're going to need to have as inputs for the student loan interest calculator. And so you want to have that on hand. You want to have some way of being able to designate what each loan is. In the screenshot that I provided, you'll see that on my statements, I actually put the letters and numbers to my student loans. The letters were a system that I came up with when I put each loan in order based on the balance. And Fed Loan eventually went back and put numbers on there. So I just matched them together. And so that's how my system came about. But you can do the same thing. Your student loan may already have that out there for you to make it easier. Fed Loan didn't have it at the time when I was starting this. So these are the three variables that you will need for the online interest calculator. So we're going to go and look at what should you put on your piece of paper or your Google Sheet or Excel. Okay, so there's a bare minimum that you're going to need for your spread or your worksheet, and that's going to be the loan name, the interest per month, IDR, and that's the payment per month per loan, and the difference. So on your monthly statement, you should be able to find like your IDR payment. I put my name, and that's why I label my statement, why I always write that in every month, is so that I know I can match them up quickly. I get confused easily. And plus, when I started out, I had like 20 student loans. So this system just works out a lot better for me, and hopefully it works for you. But just those basics is what you need on your sheet. Now you can include your current balance if you want to. You're definitely going to need it for NerdWallet, but you don't have to have it on there. Okay, and this is NerdWallet's website, and they do have it broken out step by step. So if you are somebody who like to manually calculate things, you can actually do this. They have it all broken down for you. Now I do sometimes want to manually do it, but most of the time I'm just going to cheat because who got time for that? I make time to do some, but after you verify one, you don't need to do it again. At least that's my perception. But in here, I'm going to put in my annual interest rate, which is 6.55%. And then I'm going to put the balance from loan S13, which is $8,256. This site does not take cents. So I just dropped the cents on this particular loan and I put in 31 days. Now, I put in 31 days because that's the maximum number of days that a month can have. I don't try to guess around each different month. You can do that. I don't. I try to go with the maximum days in a month. That way I'm always safe with my calculation. So what my interest is for that month is $46.19. And I have a daily interest rate of $1.49. So that lets me know about what I'm being charged per day in interest for this particular loan. Now, the next loan I'm going to put in is going to be T20. Now, this student loan, the balance is $15,308.46. If you try to put in the cents, you're going to get a red error message. But if you take the decimal out and everything behind that, it'll work. And so now you're seeing that on Fed Loan T20, my total interest is $85.56. I get penalized $2.76 per day for this particular loan. Okay, so now all I do is for S13, I wrote in 4619 for S13 and then 8556 for Fed Loan T20, and this came from the NerdWallet site. The last thing that I do is calculate the difference. So that's like $46.19 minus $37.17. The difference is $9.02. So I need to make a payment of $9.02 to make sure I cover my interest for the entire month for that one particular loan. And then I'll do the same thing for T20, 85.56 minus 68.67. That gives me $16.89. I need to make sure I add an extra $16.89 for that particular loan. If I don't do that, that's the amount of interest that stays in that outstanding interest column, plus the interest that I'm going to accrue from the time of my last payment to the moment that statement was created, because a monthly statement is just a snapshot in time. I know everybody who is used to watching my channel see me use pen and paper all the time because that's the only way I remember things. I can use Excel. I just choose not to because it doesn't stick in my head like when I write stuff down. I actually remember it because I wrote it down. But I'm going to put down the same headers as I did if I were writing it down. And that's the loan name, interest per month, my IDR payment, which is the monthly payment per loan, and the difference, which is going to represent the extra payment that I would send in for that particular loan. The good thing about Google Sheets and Excel is you can use the formulas within the worksheets. And so you don't have to worry about, using a calculator to calculate anything. I'm going to do a little formatting. I like seeing my headers. So I'm just widening the columns. And for my example, I'm going to include one extra loan that I didn't have in the previous example. I'm going to also include R18. So there's going to be R18, S13, and T20. And then in the IDR payment column, I'm going to put down what my monthly payment is for that particular loan. And an income-driven repayment is kind of a scaled-down version of what you would pay based off of your income and your household size. And so what you saw me do there when I highlighted those sales and hit the dollar sign is I want the numbers that I'm going to type in to be in currency. Okay, so now I'm going back over to NerdWallet, and I'm just going to change this one so I can see what my interest payment is for Fed Loan R18. And so I'm putting in my loan balance at, I think it was about March, because that's the last statement I have online, is 8308. There is some change, but this site does not like to change. So you can round up $1, or I just drop the change. I don't round up, I just round down. And it seems to be enough. So it's 45.26. So I'm putting 45.26 in the interest per month for R18. And so that's like cell B2. Okay, so after I do that, I'm going to put in the formula to subtract C2 from B2. And so that's just equals, and then I click on B, type in a minus sign, and then click on C, and then hit enter. And then the next thing I'm going to want to do is copy that formula down for the next two rows. And so those values are going to be negative until I put something into column B. And I know I didn't do this when I had like something that I wrote down. I didn't put the total. But in here, I am going to do a total. And when you make your payment for your interest only in Fed loan, this is where you want to target the loan. When you go to make that one-time payment, make sure you have that selected. If not, they take that amount and they split it across the loans. They have their own calculation that tells them what to do. And so that's what they're going to do. And that's how they're going to handle your money. You want to tell them how you want that money split out. And since you know that this is an interest only payment, that's the way it's going to be used. It should come as no surprise that none of it went to principal. But if you're over, okay, so let's say you got like an extra dollar or something like that, that dollar is going to go to your principal. Always remember that when you're making a Fed loan payment, the way the payments are processed is they take care of that interest first. Then they apply the rest to your principal. Now, if you're a person who doesn't like to deal with change, you can always round up. So if your payment is $902, you can pay $10 instead if that's your thing. Some people don't like to deal with change, and I understand. There is a benefit to making this extra interest only payment. The benefit is that you have a more stable current balance and outstanding interest from monthly statement to monthly statement. You guys know that with federal student loans, you incur interest every single day. So I like comparing one monthly statement to the next monthly statement. It's a little disheartening sometimes when you're trying to get your total balance and it's always changing because you're always incurring interest. But once you get those statements and you make that comparison, you start to see what is the amount of interest you incur from the point you made your last payment to the point that your monthly statement came out. It comes out to be like a more stable number. Mine might be off like a few cents here and there, but that's based on the number of days in a month. So if there's 28 days, I expect the amount to be a little bit lower. If there's 31 days, it might be a little bit higher, but it's only like a few cents. It's not a lot. And that's very important when you're on a debt-free journey. And I do have some tips for those who aren't ready to tackle all of their loans, but they do want to get started. When I got started, I started with my biggest loan, and I started on that interest, um, outstanding interest, and trying to tackle that one and understand it. Then I moved on to other ones. So it was a more iterative process for me. Look for deductions in your paycheck that can be adjusted or eliminated. I think I told you guys about a time that I was buying company stock. I shouldn't have been doing that. That's not a good idea. And I'll tell you guys one day why that's not a good idea. But I was buying company stock. And so it was $27.88 that was coming out of my paycheck. And you guys know I get paid twice a month. So once I was able to bring that back in, I could repurpose that money for something else. Also, cut expenses, groceries and utilities. Those two areas right there, that's where I got my biggest win. I went from paying like $600 a month in groceries to $300 a month in groceries. Also, look for promotion opportunities at work. Sometimes your budget is as tight as it can be. And so you got to increase your income. In the past 3 years, I've had two promotions. I know I don't talk about that on the channel, but yeah, I have had two promotions. And you guys know I did get a raise recently because I was about to just go and jump ship and go work somewhere else. But no, um, you always want to be growing. And as you learn new skills and you master those skills, it's for sale. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I think I know, like as a female employee, I tend to undervalue my skill set. And if you do that to yourself, they're going to pay you like that. So always look for career progression or promotion opportunities. When you meet with your manager, come in with open mind and say, hey, how can I improve? You can tell your good managers from your bad ones because your good ones will tell you. You might not want to hear it, but they'll tell you. Also, create a money moves plan from any potential savings. So you want to give that a name. I think I talked about that with the employee stock that I was buying. I took that money and then I said, okay, this is going to the outstanding interest for Fed loan T20. And I did that until I paid it down. Once I saw that the interest that should show for 10 days is 20 something dollars, I think like $27 a month, I was like, okay, what's that difference? I need to make sure I keep that amount paid to that loan, and whatever I have left, I'm apply it to my second highest loan. And that's how I did mine. But it's just some notes that you write down. Let's say you're trying to save money on your gas, your transportation expenses. You want to say, okay, once you do make that, what are you going to do with that money? You might not have a dollar amount at the beginning of the month, but you do know that's an area that you're targeting for savings. And so you just make a note. What are you going to do with that? And keep that note written down somewhere on a post-it on your mirror, somewhere where you know this is what I'm doing with those savings when that money comes in. And you can do the same thing with your grocery money, any savings from there. You just find those little buckets where you can save money and then give it a specific job to do and call it a money move. That's what it's doing. It's going to just being repurposed. Because if you don't do that, you'll find other things to do with it. For me, my weakness is eating out. Everybody knows I hate cooking. I'm lazy. I don't want to do it. So just create a little money moves plan. Just write it in your planner or type it on your Excel spreadsheet. What's my money move for the month? And just type it up in those little categories. If you get those savings, if you don't get those savings, there's no harm, no foul. There's no money in that area at that time, but there is going to be a time when you do reach that goal. And when you do, you want to have a purpose for it. So I want to close by thanking you. I know this was a little bit long, but this is one that I've been wanting to make for you guys, and I've been a little bit nervous about doing it. So let me know if you have any questions. I will include the link to NerdWallet's calculator in the description box below. And I will talk to you guys later. Make sure y'all stay safe, protect your energy. This has been a trying time, and I know I've been stuck in the house for a long time. I know how I'm feeling. And so I hope you guys stay positive and you have a wonderful day. Bye.